Hello guys, Pastor Preston is my name. So excited to come your way today. So today I'll just be talking about randomly on some things that I think it's something we really need to think about. It's so unfortunate that in Africa, when we get on something, a lot of time we get on it wrongly and passionately in a wrong way. And then it begins to cause a lot of problem for us, right? That's a real big thing that I really want to address. Okay, for example, I heard a story that really was blowing my mind, right, of a doctor in Canada who just decided to find a way to give back, right, understanding the challenges that people who come on a visitation visa gets when they come abroad. Of course, if you come on a visitation visa, you really will not be able to get all that health coverage or insurance. So that means when you go for to see a doctor, you have to pay for it. As a matter of fact, I hear they pay maybe $350 for just a 15 minutes consultancy. So he decided to give free service to people. Okay, right? But you see, this is the thing that pained him. He said, I haven't given them that free consultancy and prescribe a drug for them. They'll go home, and then when he calls them to check on them to be sure how they are doing, they'll now say, I'm taking olive oil that my pastor gave me, and all that, blah, 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 blah. Now, my question will be, why did you not take the olive oil before you went to the hospital? Why did you go to the hospital in the first place? Right? We really need to get to adjust some things in our mind, right? And let me say this, right? The medical profession, it is God who granted them capacity to find out what will work. However, we know it might not be a perfect perspective, right? Because miracle can be perfect, but when you don't have faith for miracle, then you need to use the available one that is present. Okay. I remember listening to a pastor one time sharing a testimony and says he really wanted to just see something really deep. That pastor, one of the biggest pastors in Port Harcourt, he said he was sick and then he was in one word. He said, and then while he just walked and strolled to another word, he saw another very big pastor in Port Harcourt in the next word. Now take note. These are pastors who pray for the sick, who do miracle, have a large crowd of people. They were both on admission in the same hospital in Port Harcourt. Think about that, right? I can tell you that some of their members will just be shouting, no, blah, 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 and all that stuff. Listen, I'm not speaking against miracle. I believe in miracle, right? I've seen it work in my life. I've seen it work through me to other people by the grace and mercy of God. However, when you don't have faith for something, there is nothing wrong to use what's available that can help. Okay? Except there is an instruction from the Spirit that says, don't, and then you will receive an healing in that light. We must be careful not to behave as mediocres or just allow religion to mess our mind up and then we make a mess of everything. One of the greatest father of faith in Nigeria, right, supposedly have an hospital in Benin City. Yes, the Archbishop Benson also. He has an hospital. It's called Faith Mediplex. He was one of the fathers of faith. Yeah. I also hear that one of the very amazing healing minister in Lagos just opened a hospital in Lagos, right? So listen here, you got to understand these things, right? Some of those people have doctors who come to treat them. They have healthy living and the rest of them, right? So be careful how you want to say things like, oh, I don't believe, oh, yes, oh, that, and all that, right? Remember, there's a guy called Epaphroditus. Paul was speaking about him in Philippians chapter number 2. He said he was sick and was almost to death. And then he says, God just saved him. Epaphroditus, he was a minister of God. Yes, he was a minister of God. What about Timothy? Remember the case of Timothy? The Bible told us, right, how Paul had to tell Timothy, take a little wine for thy stomach sake. Okay, he had a stomach infection or challenge, infirmity. And then Paul had to say, stop taking water, but take a little wine, right, to help the situation, which you want to approximate to a medication today. Okay, so listen and listen very good. There's nothing wrong with medication, right? And also understand how God works, right? These things are brought medically. But I'm just trying to say this. Let me put it properly. We're not saying any small thing that happens. You're just thinking of doctor, you're into the hospital and all that stuff. You start by praying. If your faith cannot bring the healing, then every available means that can bring the healing, then you should take it that is not diabolic in operation. Okay, right? Let's not behave like mediocres. Let's not behave like stupid people, right? And then begin to mock the faith or mock what church had turned into. And by the time you begin to do all this kind of stupid stuff and people begin to die, next thing the government will just jump on it and want to start to regulate the church or tell us what to do, what not to do. And of course, you know what will happen? Satan will use them to do all that old mess. Okay, so let's behave rightly. Okay, if you went to the hospital and then they give you medication, follow the medications. If you will not follow the medications, then you have to pray, stir up faith, and then you stop to take it. The Bible says faith, Hebrews chapter number 11, verse number 1. It says faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. That means faith has a substance, right, from the word that's stirred up from us, right? If there is no substance of things hoped for, even though it's not physically seen, then it becomes arrogance. And arrogance is not faith, right? That's why, yes, some people say, I'm having faith, they died, or they say, I'm having faith and something went wrong, or I'm having faith, things got a mess, because they really did not understand what faith is and how faith works. That's something you need to understand. So refuse to be arrogant. Okay, this is very important. I thought I just needed to share this with someone. Pastor Preston is my name. God bless you.